German Hills. This time it's a band that has only one album out, which already came out earlier this year. This one it's Servants to the Tide. And this is a kind of a hybrid of doom metal and traditional heavy metal. What makes this obviously so doomy is the kind of riffs and melodies, and of course slow tempo, which then again is something that a lot of people would call traditional doom or even epic doom. Now, a lot of people would also consider this some kind of a heavy metal with more slow tempo and all. Now, this is a band that seems to have an interesting vision, an idea, a band that seems to operate around melancholy, solitude, despair and stuff like that, and also puts that into interesting stories when it comes to lyrics. However, this debut album seems to be very much like work in progress. So once again, an interesting vision, and seems like this band could give a lot if only the songwriting was a lot better. It's not bad, but, and then always comes the but with a few dots, and that's when we start to have problems. Well, that might be a little bit of exaggerating, but the thing is here nevertheless. So Servants to the Tide, it didn't have this, it seems, demo phase, where the band would actually experiment and try out different kind of ideas, but went straight head on to making a debut album. And I think that's the first and the biggest mistake, let's put it this way. This 34th minute of an album, it sounds pretty much like it's a kind of a home recording. Not exactly bad, but, sounds a little bit cheap and powerless, and which then again doesn't really constitute of being very epic, powerful, majestic and all that stuff. The second thing is, while I kind of like what the vocalist is doing, I mean he has a good voice and he's trying to, deliver these emotions via music, it's a little bit something that needs to be, in my opinion anyway, polished, honed to a next level, to be pushed even further. So, in essence, this debut album sounds much like a demo, which just happens to be some 34 minutes, 6 songs and all that stuff. But the biggest problem of this album is not the production, it's not the vocals, but the songwriting. I mean, it could be actually really, really catchy, majestic, bombastic and all that stuff. But now it gives me a little bit of a lukewarm feeling, like this is just like one of those albums, like it's almost right there. It's almost building this majestic cathedral or monument, but the work is a little bit unfinished. And this gives me the kind of a creepy feeling, yeah, it's much like a demo that just happened to got a record label to release it. But everything here feels a little bit unfinished, or maybe it's just rushed, like as if there was no budget or time or skill to push it forward, and then it was like, okay, let's just do it and get it on with it. And sometimes it makes a sense. I mean, there are lots of bands which just, have a wonderful debut album, and even though everything is not like super cool and toned down to a very last detail and all that stuff, they just kind of make sense because their songwriting is absolutely stunning. Unfortunately for Servants to the Tide, this is not the case here. It's more like, yes, this could have been with more budget, more time, etc., more patience, if you will, a lot better. Now it's more like going to right direction but don't have the tools that should be there, or ways to have those vocals a little bit notch up, pushing the envelope and all that stuff. But definitely if you're into kind of a slow-paced heavy metal or epic doom, this might be your cup of tea. I just can't totally recommend it with, being fully honest and all. I think it's a lukewarm album which has some nice ideas, but the vision, even though as good it is not with the same level of an album. The vision is right there with some cool ideas, some cool lyrics and all that stuff, but the music should and could be a lot better. With these words, I say I think the next album is gonna really nail it. That's just a vague feeling I have. I don't know if these guys are actually doing music for the time being and all, but let's keep our fingers crossed. But in case, like I said, if you like the music or you like the idea, check out the samples online. You will have links provided in the description box. Meanwhile, go and listen to it. Thanks for checking out the review. Bye bye.